Namahom Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane. Today in English. Can you believe it? Usually I speak in Hindi. Huh? They asked me to speak in English. What to do? Mlecha bhashayam pravachanam dattavyam natu samskrita bhashaya. Hindi bhasha ka varta. Right, I know. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya Naram chaiva narotamam Devim saraswatim vyasam Tato jayamudhirayet Nashtap Prayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatityuttama shloke Bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Which shloka is it? Skanda 10, Adhyaya 36, Shloka Sankhya, what? 2. So this is post-Prabhupada. Rambhamanach karataram padacha vilakhan mahim. Oh, okay, responsively you do like that? Rambhamanach karataram padacha vilikhan mahim Udhyamya pucham vaprani Vishan agrena chodharan Kinchit kinchitcha Krinmuchan Mutrayan Stambalochanaha Rambhamanach karataram Padacha vilikhan mahim Udhyamya pucham Prani Vishanagrena chodharan Kinchit kinchitcha krinmuchan Mutrayan stambhalochanaha Padapataha Bolo Padapataha Rambhamanaha bellowing Karataram most harshly Pada with his hooves Cha and Vilikhan scraping Mahim the ground Udhyamya raising upward Pucham his tail, Vaprani, the embankments, Vishana, of his horns, Agrena, with the tips, Cha, and Uddharan, lifting and tearing up, Kinchit, kinchit, a little, Shakrit, stool, Munchan, releasing, Mutrayan, urinating, Stabdha, glaring, Lochanaha, his eyes. Translation, Arishtasura bellowed very harshly and pawed the ground. With his tail raised and his eyes glaring, he began to tear up the embankments with the tips of his horns, every now and then passing a little stool and urine. 3 and 4, there's no purport here. Yasya nirhraditena anga Nishturena gabamrinam Patantya kalo Patantya kalato Garbhas. Why? No, Garbaha, right? Sandhi. Actually, this is written incorrectly. When there's a sandhi, you have to take the consonant in front of you. So in the middle of a sentence, at the end of a sentence, then you pronounce the visarga, aha, ihi, uhu, but in the middle, sandhi. So it's garbhas in samhita pat. In padapat, garbaha, in padapat, but samhita pat, garbhas. Shravanti sma bhayena vai Nirvishanti ganayasya Kakudya chala sankaya Tam tikshna shringamudvikshya Gopyo gopascha tat rasuhu. Rasuhu at the Purna Viram, the pronunciation of the Visarga. Uhu. Padapataha. Yasya. Whose? Nihraditena. By the reverberating sound. Anga, my dear King Parikshit. Nishturena, rough. Gavam, of cows. Nrinam, of humans. Patanti, fall. Akalataha, aha, in the Padapad. Untimely. Garbhaha, the embryos. Shravantisma, are miscarried. Bhayena, out of fear. Vai, indeed. Nirvishanti, enter. Ghanaha, clouds. Yasya, whose. Kakudi, unto the hump. Achala, as a mountain. Shankaya, by the mistaken identification. Tam, him. Tikshna, sharp. Shringam, whose horns. Udvikshya, seeing. Gopyaha, the cowherd women. Gopaha, the cowherd men. Cha, and. Tatrasuhu, became frightened. Translation, my dear king, clouds hovered about sharp-horned Arishtasura's hump, mistaking it for a mountain. And when the cowherd men and ladies caught sight of the demon, they were struck with terror. Indeed, the strident reverberation of his roar so frightened the pregnant cows and women that they lost their fetuses in miscarriages. Purport by disciples of Srila Prabhupada. The Vedic literature characterizes miscarriages as follows. Achurtad bhavet shravah patas panchama shashtayoho atha urdvam prasuti syat. Up to the 4th month, a premature delivery is called Shrava. In the 5th and 6th months, it is called Pata. And after that, it is considered a birth, Prasuti. Hare Krishna. See the time here. What can we comment on this? This is a Leela, Krishna Leela. Even in the purport, there is no mention of what the Purva Acharyas wrote. And I don't know offhand. We would have to bring the book, right? Prabhupada translated Bhagavatam from the Bhagavad Vidyapith Prakashan. Prakashan means publications of Bhagavad Vidyapith in Ahmedabad. How many people know this? Nobody. Not one. Not one person knows this. Wow. Krishna Shankar Shastri, he is no more in this world. Published Srimad Bhagavatam with 11 Sanskrit commentaries by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Baladev Vidyabhushan, Jiva Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, and Madhva Sampradaya, and Vallabh Sampradaya, and Ramanuja Sampradaya, one commentary of Madhva Sampradaya, one. But Gaudiya Sampradaya commentaries are more. Unfortunately, I didn't study this verse there, what the commentary is. So we could just keep reading? Any suggestions? There's no great philosophy, in these descriptions that we could give a lecture. Adbhuta karmanaha. Krishna's activities are wonderful. That's all we can say. They're extraordinary, not what we see every day. There's a question there? Right. Acha. Right, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Thank you. So what Prabhuji said in the purport, the description of a Garbhapat, actually now it's become abortion. But Pata means falling down. Garbha means the womb of the mother. So naturally this occurred. And that's described here. When there's something terrible, there may be a miscarriage of a pregnancy. Pregnancy in Sanskrit, who knows? What's the word for pregnancy? No, he had it. Garbhadharana. Dharana is holding up in the womb. Basically, that's the literal translation. Garbhapat, it fell from the womb. Now it could fall naturally or it can fall via some artificial means, which is papachar, sinful. So here in the purport, 3 types of natural miscarriages of a pregnancy are described. 3 types of miscarriages. In the beginning of the pregnancy, what does it say here? That up to the 4th month, Shrava. So conception occurs after a man and a woman meet. Let's put it in the gentlemanly way. And then the garbhastha, that embryo. What's the word for embryo then was given here? Garbha, embryo, English embryo, right? Garbha, the particular jiva that is in the womb of a mother. Human, we're talking now human being. Well, it's really dark, huh? You're really saving a lot of money for the temple by keeping the lights off. The temple is poor. They can't afford to run the light during the class. Sorry, that's vyangya, that's sarcasm. Yeah, it's a little better, right? But it is costly to run that thing, I know. A lot of bulbs are there. Shrava, within 4 months. Now, this occurs naturally sometimes, right? Naturally it occurs that the woman loses the child in a different time frame. So Shrava, Pata, and Prasuti. Prasuti means a delivery in English. When the child is born, it's called the delivery, right? You know this. So Shrava, Pata fell down. So because of the terrible, if there's a crash of something falls from a height and crashes, it causes distress. It causes anxiety. Oh, what was that? Or if there's a gunshot, if there's a gunshot, sometimes the gunshot sounds like crackers. What do they call it? Fireworks. Firecracker. So whenever someone hears a firecracker or a gunshot, they panic. They're in anxiety. The bullet shouldn't hit me. So that's what happened. So yeah, what Prabhuji was saying, well, when does life begin? So the Vedic concept, we're not Vedic according to some devotees. Or we cannot, actually what it is, we cannot, because of our own weakness, we're not following a fully Vedic life. But our ideal is that the Vedic knowledge is perfect knowledge. That's the thing. That's the point. To declare that we're not Vedic, it sounds like we're Buddhists. If someone says we're not Vedic, then the other day there was a video of a rally of Buddhists in Delhi. And in the rally, the leader of the rally was a Buddhist in saffron, right? What are they called? No, not the Dalai Lama is a Buddhist leader, but the Buddhist monk, right? What are they called? Monks in English. Sadhu, they're not called sadhus. What are they? Bhikshu. Bhikshu means a beggar. Our sannyasis are supposed to be Tridandi Bhikshu. Beggars with 3 sticks. Tridanda. Hare Krishna. I don't want to say too much. So this bhikshu was addressing a rally and it was jam-packed. Thousands of people here. It's a good crowd today. Thank you. Right? What is 100 devotees are here? More? Around 100, huh? 100? Shatam, 100. Shatam, Sanskrit 100. So he was saying, everybody repeat after me. We do not accept Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh as Ishvara. We do not accept Rama and Krishna as Ishvara. Right? Why? Because we're not Vedic. Vedas and Vedic literature say that Brahma is Guna avatar, Rajogun. And Shiva is Tamogun, Guna avatar. And Vishnu is Sattva Gun, Guna avatar. So those who follow Vedas, they accept Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. They accept Rama and Krishna. That's why we're worshipping Rama and Krishna. Because we're Vedic. But we are not perfect. We're full of faults. Right? What are the 4 faults? Karana Patava, Vipralipsa, Brahma and Pramada. Right? Karana Patava is what? Cheating? Imperfect senses? Vipralipsa is cheating. Brahma is the tendency to be an illusion. And Pramada is illusion also. Brahma and Pramada are almost the same. Shri Shri Radha Rasa Bihari Lalita Vishaka Ki. Sitaram Lakshman Hanumanji Ki. Gaur-Nitai Ki. Shri Shri Gaur-Nitai Ki. Shri Shri Shri. So, we may have faults. Although some people may think I am faultless. Even if he puts on a Vaishnav tilak. He may think like that. But we know we may not be. There are so many Vedic rules and regulations. Where are the Vedic rules and regulations? Dharma Shastras. What are the Dharma Shastras? Manu Samhita, Manu Smriti. But there are 80. You're a lawyer, you know. Agastya, what are the other ones? Parashara, Agastya, Dharma Shastras. There are 80 of them. Yajnavalkya, the different rishis compiled what we call Shastra. They are the rules and regulations for human life. We cannot follow them, or we are not following them perfectly. That's a fact. But it's an ideal. Prabhupada wrote in his purport to Bhagavad Gita 16:7 that Manu Smriti, Manu Samhita is the law book for humanity. Rules and those who are Hindu, which proves that we're Hindu because Prabhupada said. Prabhupada wrote it. Those who are Hindu follow these laws. So, yes, we are not following perfectly. Dharma Shastras are there, but then there, for every householder, there's a sutra. Sutra means a code. So there are sutras, like the Brahma Sutras, right? Vedanta Sutras. But there are also Grihya Sutras. How to live in the house according to parampara. There are different paramparas, different traditions. Gaudiya Vaishnav is an ideological tradition. But there are Vedic traditions for householders, specifically Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas. For Shudras, there is no sutra. And the vast majority of human society, Shudras. I was banned for saying this, quoting the Bhagavatam. It's like, Buddhists are running the show. If you can't speak the Bhagavatam, they don't want you to hear what's in the Bhagavatam, Stri Shudra Dvijabandhu Nam, Traina Shruti Gochara. But the Shruti Parampara, the Vedic Parampara, there's Gotra, Sutra, and Shakha. Who knows this? You're Brahmin by you're a Brahmin. Brahmin family? Yes? No. Brahmin family, they know this. Chatusagara Paryantam Go Brahmanebhya Shubham Bhavatu Abhivade. You don't know that? You weren't taught? You were taught that? No. You have to identify yourself when you go in front of a senior. There's a Vedic system of identification. So, Chatusagara Paryantam Go Brahmanebhya Shubham Bhavatu Abhivadaye. I introducing myself to you. Who am I? You know, when we meet somebody new, I don't know him, right? What's your name? We ask. That's Western style. Without asking the name, a junior introduces himself to a senior. Chatusagara Paryantam. Up to the 4 oceans. Go Brahmanebhya Shubham Bhavatu. Maybe the Brahmanas and the cows, everything for them should be auspicious. Right? Abhivadaye. I introduce myself. Some people do this, some do this. Then Agastya Mahendra Mayobhaveti. This is one of the paramparas. Agastya is the rishi. Mahendra Mayobhaveti. Tri Arshaya Tri Parvaran Vita Kaushalya Gotraha. So then you tell your Gotra. Ashvalayana Sutra. Ashvalayana Apastamba in South India. Apastamba, right? You're Apastamba? You don't know? You're Apastamba. You're from South. You don't know. Hare Krishna. There's a South Indian Brahmin here. Chipravanvita Kaushalya Gotra Ashvalayana Sutra. So there's a sutra, Ashvalayana, Apastamba, Grihya Sutra, Jaimini. There are so many. So that is how you should perform the sanskaras. Prabhupada mentioned that in his purports. You should follow the sanskaras. Yeah. Rig Veda Antargata. You have to identify your Veda. Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharva Veda. And then there's Krishna Yajurveda and Shukla Yajurveda. There are so many shakas. Shakala Shakadhyai. Rig Veda Antargata, Shakala Shakadhyai. There's a Vedic parampara. So Western devotees ask Prabhupada, what is our Gotra? We don't have a Gotra. So he said, Achyuta Gotra. Huh? Vanara Gotra. By behavior, yes. You couldn't understand. He said the monkey Gotra. And so by behavior, yes. Prabhupada said, because when you go in front of the deities, the pujari will, in order to perform the puja, they ask you your gotra. So then when they chant the mantras to satisfy the deities, they'll say, so-and-so, what's your name? Rakesh from, what did I say, gotra? Achyuta Gotra. Shusagara Paryantam Go Brahmanebhya Shubham Bhavatu Agastya Mahendra Mayobhaveti Arshe Trivaranji Kaushalya Gotraha. Bharadwaj Gotra. There are different Gotras. Bharadwaj, Jaimini, Kaushalya, etc. Gautama. There are many. I didn't memorize them. There are many Gotras. So in order to get the blessings of the deities, you have to tell your Gotra. This is followed in South India more. In North India, the practice of asking, the pujari asking you, I don't know, Puri, they ask you? In Puri? They don't ask in Puri. But in Tirupati there's no time. But there's too many people in the queue. They don't ask you your gotra. But in other temples, they ask you. Pandharpur, they don't ask. Pandharpur, they don't ask. Maybe in Shiva temples, they ask. Trambakeshwar? No. The practice is going away. Anyway, so abortion and the life, that was the question, but we got diverted. So Vedic concept is that when the jiva enters at the time of conception, that means when the male and female, what is it? The egg and the sperm combine. So what is that called exactly? Garbhadharana? There's no other expression, I think, in Vedas that garbha, embryo, garbha, Sanskrit words, they're used in a context. The same word may be used with a different meaning in a different context. So that garbha, garbhashaya, lying in the womb, garbha actually means the womb. But the living entity that is born in the womb is also called the garbha. The womb is the garbha, the embryo is the garbha. So in the West and here, abortion is very common. Garbhapat. Now, what we're talking about is the forced falling. Pata means falling. And that pata came about here in the verse by the horrible noise of arishta. But nowadays, if you don't want the child, particularly the female child, because you have to spend a lot of money to marry the daughter, it's very costly in Hindu society. So many such abortions were performed, and then there's no girls for the boys later on. This is a problem in North India, particularly Haryana and Punjab. It's a problem. Social dilemma. There are much less girls than boys because of kritrima garbhapat, artificial abortion. So what do they say? Those advocates of abortion say that life is only after that garbhastha, the embryo comes out, janma, prasuti, delivery. Then there's life. So this is the conception of atheists. This is the conception of Nastikas. Actually, there's been a lot of observation of the garbhastha. That means the embryo in the womb, and it's moving around. It has signs of life. So there's the 6 symptoms of life, right? Who can say? I better say, right? Because there's no mic. Birth, growth, maintenance, reproduction, dwindling, vanishing. Right? Correct? So we see at least the birth and the growth in the womb, garbhastha, in the garbha. So how can it not be alive? How they say that the life only comes in the prasuti or the delivery. So that is due to atheism. It's due to atheism. That's all. So Nastika, Astika. If Ishvara is there, and we say yes, Astika, Asti. Asti, yes. Nasti, no. Astika says Ishvara, Ishavasyam idam sarvam. That is our Shraddha, right? Vishwasaha. We have that faith that Ishvara is there. And Karma Siddhantam, the theory of action and reaction. Karmanas chapi bodhavyam bodhavyam chapi vikarmanaha. Akarmanas cha bodhavyam gahana karmano gatihi. Krishna tells Arjuna, Karmanas chapi bodhavyam. You should know what is karma. What is action? Karmanas chapi bodhavyam bodhavyam chapi vikarmanaha. Vikarmanaha, bad action, papachar. You should know bodhavyam. Bodhavyam, this avyam and iyam, pratyaya it's called, right? Suffix. Indicates that you must, like bhoktavyam, you must eat. Gantavyam, you must go. The flight doesn't wait for you. The train doesn't wait for you. The car may wait for you. Gantavyam, I have to go. Or you must go. I must go. Gantavyam, bodhavyam, shrotavyam, kirtitavyascha. Bhagavatam, right? Shrotavyam, you must hear. Shrotavyam, bhoktavyam, gantavyam, drashtavyam, you must see. Must see the deities. Drashtavyam. What else? Anyone knows? No? Bhoktavyam, eating. Swaptavyam, you must sleep. Huh? Smartavyam, thank you. Smartavyam, you must remember. Shrot kirtitavyam, you must glorify. Krishna kirti, glories of Krishna. Kirtitavyam, you must glorify Krishna. Krishna kirtitavyam, you must glorify Krishna. Vanditavyam, I think. Vanditavyam, you must chant the glories. So, bodhavyam, you must understand. Karmanas chapi bodhavyam. Bodhavyam cha. Bodhavyam is twice. Thrice. 3 times Krishna says. Krishna is saying. Right? Karmanas chapi bodhavyam, bodhavyam chapi vikarmanaha, akarmanas chapi bodhavyam, gahana karmano gatihi. The results of karma are very deep. Therefore, you should know how to act and what to avoid, how not to, commit papachar. You should know. Krishna tells Arjuna, so Gita Upadesh, the teachings of Gita are meant for the upliftment of humanity. Otherwise, if it's just a story, right, a description and not a prescription. If it's just a description, there's hundreds of books. No, hundreds, no. Lakhs. Every day there's a new novel or a non-fiction book. Shrotravyadini Rajendra. For hearing, there are a lot of topics. Shukadev tells Parikshit, you know this shloka? Shrotravyadini Rajendra Nrinam Santi Sahasrashaha. Thousands of men, and everyone has a different story. And we read those stories, some of us who are foolish enough to read the newspaper. Shrotravyadini Rajendranam apashyatam atmatattvam griheshu grihamedinam. Grihastas, they don't have time for atmatattva. Grihastha ashram is actually condemned in the Bhagavatam, but 99% of humanity is a grihastha. Some few brahmacharis, few. It's not easy. If you can remain a brahmachari, Prabhupada said, you will get liberation, moksha, just by remaining a brahmachari your whole life. And for us grihastas, punarapi jananam, punarapi bharana. It's not funny, but I'm laughing. So yeah, what is abortion? Kritrima garbhapat, vikarma. It's a vikarma. It's a sinful act. Yeah, hatya. Brahma, not Brahma hatya. But you can be free from sin by prayashchittam, or we say Harinam. We say Harinam, but see, the point is that if you do papachar and then you chant, then that doesn't count, right? It's one of the dasnam aparad, 10 offenses against the chanting. Namno balad yasya namno balad yasya hi papa buddhi. So if you have a mentality that I can commit sins and then Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You're not eradicating the sin. You're not eradicating the sin. You have to not only chant, but you have to give up the mentality of committing sin. It's not easy. It's not easy because what is sin? Gahana karmano gatihi. What is bad action? That's sin. Vikarma. It's an action. And we don't anyway, we are all committing so many sins. Stepping on bugs, stepping on ants. We're moving in cars. Cars kill insects. It's a vikarma. Now, how do we counteract that? I couldn't figure it out. Yeah?
In Purana it is mentioned that no grihastha can go to heavenly planets because they commit panchasuna, 5 kinds of sinful activities.
Right.
So that is why the grihasthas, they have to perform pancha mahayajna.
Pancha mahayagnas. Yes. Thank you. What are the pancha mahayagnas?
Brahma yajna, like bhuta yajna, deva yajna.
No, but you have to describe it in English because the class is in English.
Deva yajna means one should worship the devas.
Worship the devas. Okay,
And
that's one.
Rishi yajna, one should study Puranas and Mahabharata.
Worship of rishis means to study Vedic literature.
Vedic literature. And then Pitru yajna, one should offer oblations to the Pitrus.
Shrad and Tarpan. One should go to Gaya like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yeah.
He went to Gaya. If you go to Gaya, then you don't have to perform, right, other Shrad.
Then Atiti Puja.
Aditi Puja.
Atiti Puja. Means,
Atiti Puja. Atiti Devo Baba.
and then Bhuta Yajna. Taking care of
Atiti
the
Deva means you have to honor guests in your home.
taking care of the living entities near you.
I see. So grihastas, Prabhupada described that every grihasta should go outside of his house before meals and call out loud, if anyone is hungry, he can have meals here now. They should make a provision for any unknown person to come and eat. So these are the 5. This is how grihastas can counteract papachar, vikarmas. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Actually, what is Hare Krishna Maha Mantra? It's a pukar. Hey Krishna. Hey Radha. Right? Hara is Radha. Krishna. Rama is Ramachandra, Balaram, Parashuram. But if you're saying Ramachandra, then you're saying Sitaram. Hare Rama is Sitaram. You're crying to them. Sambodhan. Just like I say, hey Prabhu. Same thing. Hey Krishna. Krishna is also Prabhu. There are different words for God. Prabhu is one of them. So this is an honorific word. Like Prabhupada, it's an honorific word. It's not a word that we should fight about. Just to honor someone, Prabhupadaha, Sanskrit, Prabhu Charanaha, Guru Charanaha. These words are for respect. But they make it fanaticism. You cannot use the word Prabhupada. It's only for one person. And then that's Ativad. Ativad. Vedic culture was not like that, actually. Vedic culture, you were taught Amanina Manadena, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught. Show respect to everyone and don't keep the mentality, I must be respected. Amanina. No respect is required. You can kick me and I won't say anything, but human beings are not like that. But that's what it means. You should show respect to others, everyone, even an ant, right? And manadena, give respect. So Vedic culture was like that. Juniors would give Krishna himself, when he met the Pandavas, he touched the feet of Yudhishthir and Bhima. He embraced Arjuna and he blessed Nakula and Sahadev. This is in Krishna Leela in the 10th canto. So Krishna followed the Vedic system. We may not be Vedic, but Krishna followed the Vedic system. Krishna followed the Vedic system. So the Vedic system, if there's some great worshipable personality, Prabhupadaha, Prabhu Charanaha, Guru Charanaha, and anyone who's a teacher is Acharya. And Prabhupada used this word to mean the head of the Sampradaya, but it also means any teacher. So in different contexts, you can use the word Guru and Acharya. Every teacher in India is called Guruji. Every teacher in India is called Acharya. It's not like the word is so exclusive, it's only for one person. Just like this so-called Ritvik initiation. You've heard of it? These young new devotees, they heard of it? It's a concoction. It's not the Vedic system. If it was the Vedic system, Prabhupada would have mentioned it 100 times. But he mentioned disciplic succession 1,550 times. If you look in the Vanipedia, disciplic succession 1,600 times he said. What does it mean, succession? What does it mean? It's very straightforward. Succession means one follow the other. But there's fanaticism, only Prabhupada. Right? We have it in Ritviks and we have it here also in ISKCON. Really? Prabhupada's word is more important than Shastras. You heard this? How many people heard this? Nobody? Only one. Well, that's good. You're getting good training here. Abhinandanam, Abhinandanam, Abhinandanam to the Juhu temple authorities. Because Prabhupada taught books are the basis. Oh, right, Shastras. Everything depends on Shastras. Prabhupada was teaching Shastras. Guru Parampara means teaching Shastras. Vedic Brahmins teach Shastras. That's their job. Patana, Patana. Patana means study Vedic literature. Patana means teaching Vedic literature. Buddhists, they say no Vedic literature. It's nonsense. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh is nonsense. Krishna and Rama are nonsense. Yeah. Jains have something like that. And Nastikas say it's all religion is nonsense. Right? Communists. Religion is nonsense. The opium of the people. That's the communist ideology. So we are anti-communist. We are anti-atheist. I won't say that too loud. Vishwa Hindu Parishad says that they're Hindus. They came out of India. But they're not Vedic. They reject Vedas. Nindasi yagna vider ahaha shruti jatam snapayasi payasi darshita pashu ghatam. To save the poor animals, Buddha preached this ahimsavad and condemned the Vedas. It was 2,500 years ago. Whole India became Buddhist. And then Adi Shankara drove out the Buddhists. This is the story. And you don't find Buddhism is very popular. Even if in Delhi a few thousand people came to the vast majority of people. Okay, time is up. Questions?
Hare Krishna.
He has the mic. Whoever has the mic is powerful. Right? They say in Hindi, 1 minute ago, right? जिनके हाथ में लाठी है वो जिसके लाठी उसका base. Whoever has a stick, he owns the buffalo. So whoever has the mic has the power to go first. Oh,
Hare
you can
Krishna.
go second.
In Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada writes,
Right.
last
Krishna book is the Dashamaskan, right? Just the storybook form.
last chapter, that Krishna has 5 super excellent qualities. Out of them, the last one.
You mean Aishwaryas or what are those?
No. One is before Krishna appeared, Ganga is very famous for delivering the people. But after Krishna appeared, Yaduvamsha became very famous for delivering people. Number 2, Krishna delivers even the demons, not only devotees. Number 3, even Lakshmi Devi gives up her position to get the dust of lotus feet of Krishna. Number 4, his holy name, Shrutamata, means defeats all other process of self-realization. And then number 5, Prabhupada, Sukadeva Goswami says that by propagating one principle in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, he rejected all other 20 Dharma Sutras.
Dharma Sutras?
Yeah. Just by following one principle,
Sharanagati.
Yeah. We can reject all other Dharma Shastras or Dharma Sutras. Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, that means Krishna book explanation, that 20 Dharma Sutras are there. Means like...
Right, like Manusmriti.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, but that, if you come to a very high level of devotion, then you don't have to follow, right? Well, who wrote that? Bosnana, I'm forgetting that.
Madhavendra Puri.
It's Madhavendra Puri. Okay. There's no need of taking a bath in a holy place. But we all go and take a bath in the Ganga in Mayapur. Or a lot of devotees go to Haridwar and take a bath. Right? You have to comment on this, but okay, you're number 3.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Basughosh, for your erudite and insightful talk. What I got from this verse is that we had this bull, which is the representative of religion, but this bull is demonic, asur. And to get a human birth is a very rare thing. And to go through the Garbhodan Yagna to bring about a soul deserving of being ejected into the womb, because it's not that the jiva comes at the time of conception, it's living in the sperm. And it's transferred to the inert egg of a woman. Man carries that life in him. It's his responsibility. And if he takes it seriously, then it's a big yajna to actually bring up children, to conceive, and for a woman to go through the pain and the suffering of pregnancy. So all of this is disturbed by this demonic force who comes in the most religious garb. You know, we talked about the other day, Kali Chetas that appear to be devotees, but they're really not.
Chela.
Yeah, chelas.
Chela means disciple.
So
But it's a Boli Bhasha. It's Shishya is the real, means Sanskrit word for disciple, Shishya. And that got corrupted into Hindi and Bengali Chela. So actually Shishya.
no, I should have known that.
And in Punjabi, what is it? Sikh.
I don't know.
Sikh means Shishya. You didn't know that, right? Sikhism. They've made this Sikhism. There's no such thing as Sikhism. They're Hindus. It's just a political game. And Sikh just means Shishya. Guru Shishya, Gur Sikh. But Punjabi corrupted the pure Sanskrit. Guru Shishya. Guru Nam Shishya. Pure Sanskrit. The disciple of the Guru.
Uh-oh.
Gur Sikh.
I'm going to lose my train of thoughts.
Yeah, okay. Go on. Chela. You were talking about the color
Right.
Chela.
So here we have the situation where these demonic forces not only are causing the soul, which has been desirous to take a human birth, so it has a chance to develop and perform bhakti in this life, to continue its journey to to its perfection. But it also reflects upon that these demonic forces are threatening our women, who it is our job to protect from these kinds of evil doers. And if you look at society today, those forces of demonic influence come in the form of opposidantic ideals and philosophies, which go to the principle of actually trying to justify abortion. And that's what we've been facing for the past 100 or so years as Kali Yuga has progressed so greatly. So in the theme of what we can see in this event is that we have to take it upon ourselves to become very defensive of our women, protective of them, and also of the souls that are trying to enter the womb to take that birth, to come to Prabhupada's shelter, the shelter of our being able to give them Krishna consciousness in this life. Not only did I get that from the verse, but I also got that this is a verse which has been given a purport by a disciple or disciples of Srila Prabhupada. And they are quoting other shastras. And nobody in all the years that's been in print has said, oh, you can't take other shastras. You have to only understand things through Prabhupada's books. Now, there are a few people who would say that the 11th, 10th, 11th, and 12th canto are not bona fide because they're not translated and given purports by a pure devotee. But no one's ever said, oh, you've taken the principle of taking other shastras to understand Srila Prabhupada's teachings. And I think that that's a very foundational issue today, that, do we take guidance from other shastras or don't we? Do we just only see things through Prabhupada and Prabhupada's purports? And so, I don't know, I've been getting a lot just from this one verse. And I was just wanting to share that that's also part of what perhaps you might want to pontificate about.
Well, see, Rupa Goswami in a Nectar of Devotion, which Prabhupada translated, quoted from many different shastras. So if we follow that, it's just common sense that we accept all those shastras. There's no question of debate there. The question is, a mental, what do you call it, speculation, or mentally being crippled, a crippled mentality, a fanaticism. Like Ritvikism is a fanaticism. It was a reaction to certain events that happened 35 years ago in ISKCON. Otherwise, there was no such... Prabhupada never taught that. And they can't understand that. If you tell them, they just, no, Prabhupada said this, and Prabhupada, they have quotes, right?
One last comment, and that was on the issue of being Hindu. Now, my understanding, and it may not be correct, was that it was actually, that's not even a Sanskrit word. It was given by the Muslims, I think, by the people who lived across the Indus River. That's how I understood it, Hindus.
Yeah, but it's become...
And wait a minute, let me finish.
Yeah.
So the whole idea of being Hindu, Jewish, Christian, Buddhist, and that's when Prabhupada explained to us, and he has in other occasions said we are not Hindus, so you can play both sides of that game. It fell on very receptive ears when we were to understand that we are Aham Brahmasmi, we're spirit soul. Now you may take the claim, well, yes, but you have to abide by, eventually you become educated and you climb up the ladder of the Varnashram, etc. But I'll tell you frankly that Prabhupada understood that if you preached like that, you would have never had Krishna Conscious, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness in India, because this society in India came from the efforts and the realizations of the devotees in the West, who were very happy to know they weren't Christian, Jewish, Hindu, or Buddhist, or any other label. So I don't think you're going to get very far in terms of the goal of preaching Krishna consciousness if you're saying, well, actually, we're all Hindu. I mean, that just kind of went way over my head.
First thing, you made a mistake. You said that Krishna consciousness in India was inspired by Western devotees.
No, I said ISKCON was. ISKCON.
Yeah, well, that's not true. It was inspired by Prabhupada. Not by... He enchanted those...
I didn't say inspired. I said it was brought. ISKCON was brought.
Prabhupada brought them. It was Prabhupada, not the disciples. He brought them and attracted people to his movement. So the disciples were his dancing white elephants, he said. And no doubt, the disciples played some key roles in I collected some money for Hyderabad in Dubai or whatever, I told Prabhupada, he was happy. But he inspired the movement.
No doubt about that.
Now, the point is, the word Hindu is common usage. The word Hinduism in the dictionary denotes the religion from the Vedic religion of South Asia. And when you talk about Vedic religion, you come to the Rupa Goswami. In the Nectar of Devotion, he quoted an obscure Pancharatrika text called the Brahma Yamala. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatra Vidim Vina. Aikantiki Hare Bhaktir Utpata Yaiva Kalpate. Bhakti that is not based on Vedas, Shruti, Smriti is the Dharma Shastras, the, Manusmriti, etc. Shruti, Smriti, Puranadi, the Bhagavatam, the Purana. What was the first Purana Prabhupada wrote? The Matsya Purana, not the Bhagavatam. So Puranadi means 18 Mahapuranas, 18 Upapuranas. Mahabharata and Ramayana are Puranas in that sense. Shruti, Smriti, Puranadi, Pancharatra, there's 140 or 150 books. If the Vidhi, the system given in these Shastras, is not followed, that bhakti just causes a disturbance. So when we say we're Hindu, we mean we adhere to these Vedic literature. Not that, obviously, we weren't born in India. Then the other sense, Prabhupada, well, the whole world was Mahabharata 5,000 years ago. And then Before that, Parashuram drove the Kshatriyas out of India and they settled in Europe. So he said the Europeans are descendants of the Kshatriyas. Prabhupada, it's a theory and it's a speculation. How to say exactly, thousands of years have passed. There was a question over here. We need the mic. Oh, you're number 4. If you got, you're number 5. We actually ran out of time 5 minutes ago, but
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Nice brainstorming class. Brainstorming class.
Thank you.
I have a few points, but I'll just take 2 points. One is if the date of, what is that, birth date is mentioned so-and-so date, if conception happens 9 months earlier, in the yesteryears, when they were so powerful, why did not they mention as birth date 9 months earlier? That is the whole issue.
Prasuti is an event. Prasuti is an event. So it's marked by when you appear in the world. Janmadinam, right? Avirbhava is used in Sanskrit that you appeared. So when you're in the womb, you cannot see that, right? It's aprakat, and then prakat in front of your eyes. But the life is there, that's the point. The life is in the sperm, he said, and which is true.
Second point.
That's, yeah.
You mentioned Lord Chaitanya also went to Gaya and offered oblations to the
Right.
Interessant.
Shrad.
So now, when we all joined, that time said, nothing, all gone. Just chant Hare Krishna and you are all free from all those previous whatever karmas and Pitrdosha, Maturdosha. So now, it's like, it seems contradiction. So can you please clear out?
That's a tough one because, yeah, it does seem. See, then in this case, we should, Gopal Bhatta Goswami wrote the Satkriya Sardipika, what actions we should perform, Vaishnavas. So we should consult that book. Should we perform Shrad and, these sanskaras, Janma sanskaras? You had a question? You had your hand up? Okay, he's next. The answer to your question, Satkriya Sardipika of Gopal Bhatta Goswami.
Thank you for your very wonderful class, Prabhuji. My question is that on the one hand, Srila Prabhupada has praised Manu Samhita and also Yajnavalkya Smriti, but particularly Manu Samhita as the law book for mankind. But other people say that not everything in it, or perhaps nothing at all in it, is necessary since we have Krishna Bhakti. So my question to you is, what is our position for the application of Manu Samhita in society at large? Is it fully applicable, only partly applicable, or not at all applicable?
It's fully applicable. Prabhupada mentions it numerous. I think if we do a count on the Vanipedia, you'll find many, many, many references. 100 or something. So yeah, it's just that we're weak. That's all. That's all you can say. It's like a student of any subject in school. There's right here. I was a topper. This is a very popular in India, Indian English expression, topper. I'm at the head of the class. So in the same class, there were 50 people and somebody was in the end of the class, right? There's 50th rank, not first rank. He still studied and he might even get a degree, but he doesn't know as much. Our position is like that, just ignorance, that's all. There's another hand in the back. Unless you have another question, it's 10 minutes over. Somebody is going to come and drive us out. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the very wonderful class. So, I wanted to understand about, you quoted the shloka also, what Rupa Goswami says about Pancharatrika Vidhim Vina. So, and then you were also mentioning about that we don't follow fully Vedic, system, what was there in the Vedas and all.
Right.
So my question is, like, we are a combination of Pancharatrika Vidhi and Bhagavat Vidhi as what we hear. So then what is the, like, is it like by just following Bhagavat Vidhi, or what do you mean by we don't follow the Vedic system? Can you please clarify?
Yeah, this is a good question actually. And what I feel, that repeat the question was, how is it that we don't follow the Vedic system fully? It's a very complicated system. There are many instructions, and we haven't studied all of those instructions. Now, Prabhupada's original target audience was Westerners. And for Westerners, it's even more difficult because there's no family tradition. And here among Hindus, there was a family tradition. You had to, perform the sanskaras, jata karma, anaprashana, namakaranam, ityadi, right? And they had purohits. You would go there, he would perform. Westerners, no, they don't have that tradition. So there's a certain mentality. Now it's going away, especially in the urban India, with the Western education. That culture is being destroyed. When there was a joint family from the higher castes, they would follow all of these Vedic injunctions. And Vaishnavism is not against that. It's not against that. Vaishnavism means to worship Vishnu. Gaudiya Vaishnavism means to worship Radha and Krishna. Now, Murari Gupta was one of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's closest associates. Mahaprabhu said, worship Radha and Krishna, stop worshipping Rama. Here you have both Radha and Krishna and Rama. So Murari Gupta came next day, Mahaprabhu, I decided to commit suicide because I cannot give up worshipping Rama. So what did Mahaprabhu do? Yeah, go and commit suicide. No. He embraced him. He praised him. Your bhakti is Uttama Bhakti, highest devotion. Another hand appears. And two, you're okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. When you quoted this Manusmriti, there is a big movement out there in the society called feminism. There is feminism.
Feminism, yes.
So they quote from Manusmriti and they go against or they criticize the Vedic culture, Vedic system. So what would be our response for that?
Actually, one of Prabhupada's disciples, who's still around, in fact, he just made paper on ethics, Niti, that the GBC has accepted. Yogeshwar, his name is. So he asked Prabhupada in Rome, 1974, Prabhupada, today there's a problem today. Women want equal rights with men. So Prabhupada said, what is the problem? Our women, they don't want equal rights with men. They are cleaning, they are cooking. They don't say, I want to go to Japan with Prabhupada to preach. It is because of Krishna consciousness. When you work in your constitutional position, you will be happy. Everything will be satisfied. So, outside of ISKCON, what can we do? This movement is going on. But inside ISKCON, if we surrender to that, then we're contradicting Prabhupada. And it's contradicting Manusmriti, which says, Stri Swatantram na arhati. Women should not be independent. So there's a dependency. So Prabhupada delineated that again and again and again, not in one place. And the woman is supposed to be dependent on her husband, for father, husband, and son. In the Kapila avatar, in Bhagavatam story, 324, 24th chapter, 3rd canto, Prabhupada wrote, A woman cannot take sannyas. So-called spiritual societies concocted in modern times give sannyas to women. Sannyasini, Swamini. You've heard of that. The head office of that so-called spiritual society is in a city called Bombay, Mumbai. I won't mention the name. It's not ISKCON, right? Swamini, Sannyasini. The woman must remain at home, Prabhupada wrote. In the old age, a woman's advancement depends on her grown-up son. So now, a section of our ISKCON devotees, they want a woman to be able to, virtual sannyasini, not sannyasini. No, Prabhupada said no. But just like you cannot be an Indian citizen if you have a foreign nationality. You have to renounce, which I did in 1982. Now I'm trying to get it back. That's another story. Because India started virtual dual nationality, overseas citizen of India. You don't have to go to the police. You don't have to register. It's a lifetime visa. You can stay as long as you want. You're a virtual dual national. So we have virtual sannyasini. Mataji is traveling all over Prabhuji is female Prabhu, Prabvi, is traveling like a sannyasi and giving initiation. And she's got a Bhaktivedanta degree. But she's contradicting the teachings of Prabhupada, that the woman must remain at home under the care of her elder son. This is the Vedic system. Hanuman.
Small.
Oh,
Please
one more.
Please correct me if I'm wrong. So when Prabhupada said real freedom are when we surrender fully to Krishna. So in Krishna consciousness, both are Prabhus. Men are women, women are men. Both are same, right?
Both are equal.
Both are equal.
In Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 10, text 137, Prabhupada in the purport writes that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had 3.5 closest devotees. Madhavi Devi, being a woman, was a half. So Prabhupada has offended all women, and he is a misogynist. He's a hater of women, according to this corrupted mentality that we're all equal. We're not equal. I can't have a baby in my stomach. Neither can you. We can't do what women do, and women can't do what men do. Equality is on the spiritual platform, but we're in the material world. We're in the material body. And that's why Prabhupada told Yogeshwar, you work in your constitutional position. What is constitutional position? Varnashram Dharma, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Among these 4, women are not there at all. They have a street dharma. They're not Brahmanas. So the story of Dvija Patnis. Dvija Patnis left everything, came to Krishna. And then Krishna told them, now you're better devotees than your husbands. You do the sacrifice and they will cook and clean and look after the children. Right? He never said that. I'm making a joke. It's a joke. He said, go back and assist your husbands. They said, no, we've left them, then came to you. How can we go back? They will accept you. Go back. That's the story. The woman doesn't become the Brahman. The woman assists the Brahman. Dvija Patnis. In bhakti, they're better than their husbands lamented. We are fools. We could not recognize Krishna and Balaram. But not that they're in the material world. Gopis, they're cleaning, they're churning butter. They're cleaning their house, they're milking the cows. They're looking after their babies. This is all nonsense what's going on. Women should, but it's going on. I can't stop it. The president of India is a woman, right? I can't stop it. Finance minister is a woman. I can't stop it. But that wasn't the Vedic system. When the king had mantris, there were no mantrinis. Draupadi was in the house. She looked after the whole palace. She was a great devotee, but she didn't do the job of men. None of them. Kunti, Draupadi, Devahuti, Sita. When she went, Rama sent Sita to Anasuya, the wife of Atri Muni. And Anasuya's instructions, it's in Valmiki Ramayana, serve your husband. That's it. This is in the material world. When you're in the spiritual world, we don't know. Yad gadvan anivartante. Tadhama paramam mama. Hanuman wants a chance, even though we're 20 minutes over.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, you said, this is a suggestion. You said that the disciplic succession should be proceed forward. So,
Yes.
so you are a proper disciple and you know Sanskrit, Hindi, English, almost many languages you know. So you, if you wish, you can accept the disciples and start initiation.
Yes, I can.
If you desire.
I don't desire.
Hare Krishna.
I'm an old man. We have a number of young preachers. Some are old, some are young. I don't know. Let the sannyasis give initiation. I'm not so keen. I'm not so keen. Shiksha. Shiksha we're giving. Okay. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.